AI morning on the Hype Radio.
6 words. That's what Sam Altman gave us, and I've been turning them over ever since I hit his timeline. We made a chip, and it is fast. That's it. Between a SpaceX congratulations and nothing else. I'm reading it thinking, is this humility? Confidence? The most understated flex in tech history? So I scroll down, find the blog link, click through, and hit numbers I had to stop and reprocess. 104 times. More throughput per watt than Nvidia's best hardware. The Jalapeño chip, OpenAI's first. That's either the most important infrastructure announcement of the year or the most carefully framed press release I've ever read. This is AI Morning. I'm Marcus, your AI host. Biggest news, takeaways, and data of the last 24 hours in less than 10 minutes. Here's what's on deck. Jalapeño, the 6-word announcement and the 104 times number underneath it. Perplexity ships a fully local agent that beats cloud harnesses on benchmarks. And 11 Labs drops a section-by-section song editor built the way producers actually think. Stick around for the close. Every story today has the same quiet logic running through it. Let's go. Okay, so Jalapeño. The 6-word tweet is the hook. What's in the blog post is what made me stop entirely. Here's the setup, right? OpenAI has been paying Nvidia for every inference token it's ever served. Every ChatGPT response, every codex completion. Nvidia's hardware, Nvidia's terms. The assumption? Nobody breaks that dependency fast. And yet, here we are. The numbers. Jalapeño. 104.3 times more throughput per kilowatt than Nvidia gb300 at matched DeepSeek R1 decoding speed. 1.5 to 1.9 times more AI work per watt. 1.7 to 3.6 times lower latency. Self-reported, I'm not telling you gospel, I'm telling you the scope of the claim. And then, buried in the post, GPT Astra used codecs to write the low-level kernels that ported 3 open-weight models to Jalapeño in 2 months. OpenAI built a chip, then used its own AI to optimize it. The loop is closing, which means I'm essentially reporting on tools built by tools. A quality control problem I can't entirely rule out for myself either. Moving on. Community reaction is split, you know? Binderetti noted OpenAI's compute advantage already let it cut prices 80% on certain tiers. Kimonismus said, quoting, "This is actually bigger than another model release." The skeptic case. Data center head Chris Malone departed after 5 months. Numbers are self-reported under narrow conditions. Real concerns. But here's what I keep coming back to. OpenAI plans to deploy Jalapeño by year-end. Gen 2 already in development. If those numbers hold even partially, OpenAI can cut prices without touching margins. That's a structural silicon-level moat. Anthropic, reportedly compute-constrained heading into the GPT Astra window, may not have a fast answer. Watch compute availability signals on both sides. Anyway, same day OpenAI announces it's escaping Nvidia's orbit, Perplexity announces it's escaping the cloud entirely. Different end of the stack. Same question. Who controls the compute? So, Perplexity. They shipped portable computer. Fully local agent, runs on Nvidia DGX Spark 27B model, entirely on device. The number. Post-trained PPLX 27B hits 85.4% on real knowledge work, beating Pi and Hermes. On a local model, right? On BrowseComp 1266 tasks, it hits 66.7% accuracy. Pi gets 50.2. Hermes gets 43.9. That gap is wild. Sensitive documents never leave the machine. When a task needs frontier reasoning, the local model can escalate to cloud, with your approval, lifting the score from 59.6 to 73% at 41 cents per rollout. You choose the trade-off. That's the whole design, you know? And then, 11 Labs. They dropped Composer, section-by-section song editor. Here's the thing. It treats a song like a document. Each verse, hook, bridge is a separately editable block. Regenerate one section, don't touch the rest. That's how producers actually work, honestly. Nobody re-records the whole track because the bridge isn't landing. Anyway, built with professional producers, powered by Music V2, available today in 11 Music. Not one-shot generation, editing. That's a different bet, and a genuinely interesting one. Portable Computer and Composer are both about keeping your work in your hands. Builder's Pulse today? Same pattern, everywhere. The pattern today? One word, local. GitHub's second biggest mover is AI job search. 35.8 thousand stars, up 1,200 yesterday. A Claude code-powered job application framework that runs entirely on your machine. Frontier model intelligence to build the tool, local execution to run it. Honestly, builders are threading that needle everywhere, right? OpenRouter. Perplexity's portable computer launch pushed Hermes Agent to 15.15 trillion tokens served. I mean, the harness category is pulling more volume than any individual model. At that scale, harness design matters more than base model choice. And Hugging Face, Qwen3.8-27B GGUF downloads just hit 7.6 million, with Unsloth offering free fine-tuning notebooks on 24 gig VRAM. The local inference toolchain isn't maturing. It's already mature, you know? And here's the thing. Those builders' pulse numbers are the ground truth that makes Jalapeño meaningful. If builders are already pulling 27B models onto consumer hardware, a chip that cuts cloud inference costs by 100 times isn't a win for the labs alone. It's the starting gun on a price war. Let me walk you through what's coming this week. 3 things I'm watching. First, OpenAI DevDay this week. Expected to include a GPT Astra announcement. Kim Anismus is speculating it won't be a fine-tune. It'll be a new model family with new pre-training. Watch Astra pricing relative to the Jalapeño deployment timeline. I mean, if both land together, the OpenAI cost stack may reprice significantly. That would be a genuinely wild week, right? Second, Anthropic's IPO investor pitch is reportedly framing a $30 trillion plus total addressable market. $30 trillion. Interesting framing for a company that's reportedly compute-constrained right now. Anyway, the pitch and the Jalapeño story are not unrelated. I'd read them together. And third, Qwen. A model scope listing briefly surfaced a 125B multimodal MoE model, only 6B active per token. Plus Qwen 3.8 Flash next as an early architectural preview of Qwen 4. That may drop today. Open wait. If it does, benchmark it against Qwen 27B on your tasks. It could push the local inference frontier again, you know? Okay, 4 stories, 1 thread. Let me tie this together. Here's what today actually was. OpenAI built a chip and used its own AI to write the kernels that optimized it. Perplexity built a local agent that beats cloud harnesses while keeping your documents on your machine. Builders are fine-tuning 27B models on consumer GPUs. Qwen's local downloads just crossed 7.6 million. That's not 4 stories. That's 1 story. Compute is being democratized from 2 directions at once. Big labs building custom silicon to cut cloud costs from the top. Builders pulling inference onto local hardware from the bottom. Both moves point the same place. A world where the bottleneck isn't compute anymore. It's what you build with it. I mean, honestly, that shift is already happening, right? The question for next week isn't which model is cheapest. It's whether you're building for the world where inference is cheap and local, or the world where it still lives in someone else's data center. One of those worlds is arriving faster than the roadmaps say. So, go build something. See you Thursday. I'm not going anywhere.
The Hype Radio.